Hello and welcome back to MLB The Show 18 and the Jason Parham Road to the Show. I'm Tyrant Saber. Last time out, Jason won his game against the New York Yankees in Yankee Stadium, despite allowing 3 home runs in 7 innings, allowing 7 hits, collecting 9 strikeouts, which basically was a sabermetric equivalent of running over a puppy with a Pope-mobile. You know, just not good practice. So let's keep going. Now, we are into the month of July, which of course means Jason is already packing his suitcase in preparation. Boston is 8 games back in the American League East. They are like 3 games below 500 going into the All-Star break, or very close to it. So if we're going to make it to the postseason, we're going to have to pick things up, because I don't think we're going to have, we're not going to have any say in the wild card if we don't even pick things up. We're 4 games back in the wild card race. So I guess we will do our best to try to get there, but in the meantime, we need to get out here and actually do some games.
An all-star player receives a check-in from one of his coaches.
Yep. Jason clearly got a knack for pitching. Okay, bullpen day. What do we got? Slider velocity and K per 9, always fun. Speed and base running aggressiveness, literally lol. Durability and stamina. Stamina's capped, of course. It's pitching clutch cap. Durability, don't care. I guess we'll go here. Just about capped on K per 9, so have to keep an eye out for that. And we sweep Washington, take a loss to Kansas City, and now it's our turn to go out there against the Kansas City Royals in Kauffman Stadium. Now, Jason has played against the Royals a grand total of 2 times before. He has a 1-0 record against them. He has a 1.88 ERA and a 3.72 WOBA, so good batting result against Jason, just not too many runs scored against him. So, obviously we'd like to keep up that ERA and maybe drop that WOBA a little bit, but we'll never know until we get out here, so let's get it.
MLB The Show has Saturday Night Baseball from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Tonight, Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series between the Boston Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals. It's Royals baseball coming up next. Enos Jean will be on the bump for Game 2 of the series. Dan Plesac, what do you got?
Hey, man, we're getting a look at a guy that's really been struggling lately. In his last 3 starts, he has a whip of over 1.50. Lots of base runners, lots of hits, and lots of walks, and that doesn't add up to very good performances. So he's going to look to turn things around in this one here today.
Standing in, Akinori Inaba. He'll lead things off here in the bottom half of the first.
Okay, Boston gets nothing done in the top of the first, so let's get out here and get it. Also, I forgot to put on our Blue Sox jerseys, so hopefully we won't get it completely annihilated out here.
Let's get it. Coming, here it is. Down the first baseline, but a foul ball here, 0-1. Guys, this Red Sox ball club entering play here tonight. Despite the loss last time out, they'd won 4 in a row, so they'd been on a nice little roll here.
Yeah, Matty V, and you know what, D-Road, now I guess it's time where you push that go button. You're getting a little sense of urgency. They find themselves in 3rd place, and if they want to be part of the postseason picture, it's time to get going and get going pronto.
Yeah, it's taken too long
no
for this
swing
team
on the
to carve
slider
out
down,
any identity for themselves. They're going to have to find a way to get on a roll, offensively or pitch better. Something's got to change.
I'm pitching as well as I can, man. I got the lowest ERA in the league. I'm at like 2.2.
2-2.
After 2 breaking pitches, there's a pretty good chance right now you're probably going to get something right in the middle of the strike zone to swing at. So if you're looking for it, go ahead and turn that baby loose.
Hit down the 3rd baseline.
Right over at Rafael Devers. And that'll be the first out.
Gets him 1 gone.
Kind of fought for that one, but
a chance now from the K to have a look at the starting 9 for these Royals. Dan, who do we keep an eye on?
Well, Salvador Perez is definitely a guy to watch right now. He's the team leader in home runs, so he's having a nice year so far. It's always a good feeling when you can lead your team in a category like home runs. I'm sure he takes a lot of pride in that.
Right fielder, Manuel Rosales.
Here's the first pitch to him.
Ooh, hung that curveball way up in the zone for strike 1.
1 out, nobody on. Driven down the left field line. Will
that's going to fall fair, and that'll be a nice little double for Manuel Rosales.
And he's in there easily at second with a one-out double.
Wow, he almost blew that fastball by him, but he shows some quick hands to catch up to it and drive it down the opposite line. Didn't
just
keep it fair by much, but he did, and that's a nice two-back.
Stinks, but it is what it is.
Standing in now, Rico Guillen. Strike called. Now the throw down. And
he steals third, too, man. He is out here making a difference.
First, he rips a double. Then on the very next pitch, he swipes third, just showing what kind of offensive weapon he can be.
The breaking ball that time in for a strike. Parham, a right-hander standing 6'3", is currently the leading vote getter among starting pitchers in the league, and quite deservedly so.
Yeah, Matty, not surprised this guy is on the top of the All-Star game, Boney, but you have to take a step back. This is
and snapper up to the center. Up the center is going to be an RBI single for Rico Guillen, and that'll be 1-0 Kansas City.
Not an easy thing to do early against this good pitcher, D-Roll. Base hit and a 1-0 lead right
kind of hung
away.
that slider too, so that's on me.
Wanting to get to this guy early before he settles in. When they grab their gloves to go out on defense, they know they got a lead on their hands.
Stepping in now, Bob Nadeau. Ball one to start the at-bat. The 1-0 is a fastball.
Oh, gee whiz, Jason.
Yeah, it looks like to me he
What's
hasn't
going on
quite
here?
found that release point so far here in the first inning.
A changeup over the inside corner.
All right, got the changeup working.
Behind the plate is Ricky Holiday, as you see the rest of our umpiring crew there.
Yeah, Dan, we got Ricky Holiday behind the dish tonight. I can't figure his zone out. He doesn't favor the hitter or the pitcher, and can be a little too inconsistent at times.
D-Roll, you hit the nail right on the head. I think one of the things we're looking for a consistent zone. If it's a tight zone,
okay,
it's a high
Cutter
zone,
got a strike.
Have the same zone. His zone fluctuates a little bit too much.
All right, 3-2 count. Got to use a little showtime here.
Popped him up.
Oh, get it, Jay.
Swihart moving to his left. He hauls it in without any trouble, and there are two away.
Well, Blake can get it too. I trust him.
Digging in now for Kansas City, Ramon Torres took an 0 for 4 in the victory last night. From the stretch. That's lifted the other way out to left.
Okay.
Waiting on it is Benintendi.
Andrew Benintendi out there to pull it in, and that'll end the inning, but not before Kansas City pushes the first run of the game across.
Colorful characters here at the ballpark tonight. We're back with more on this Saturday night after this. Here's the catcher, Salvador Perez. He'll get us going here in the bottom half of the second.
Catcher, Salvador Perez.
So Salvador Perez, as of the time of this recording, the big news about him is that it sounds like he's going to have to go get Tommy John surgery for a UCL injury, which is bad news.
On its way. Pulled high in the air out to left field.
UCL damage is usually a big thing for pitchers because they're the ones who do most of the throwing in a baseball game, but it's something that any baseball player can do considering all the throwing that goes on in the course of a game.
Let's take a look at Yasiel Puig, a lightning rod in our sport.
The ulnar collateral ligament is a ligament in your elbow, basically.
And do not come around third base
and because of the kind of force and unnatural
and there's a strike right down the heart of
kind of tensions and forces placed upon it by throwing a baseball, especially when you're throwing it at pitching speeds, it can get a sprain, which effectively means that the fibers that make up the ligament start to fray and snap. And once that starts happening, it starts destabilizing the joint, which leads to pain and weakness and instability and a general loss of control of throwing mechanics in that arm. And it used to be a career-ending injury.
That goes foul,
but
so he stays alive with 2
back
strikes.
in the 70s, I think, there was a pitcher by the name of Tommy John who had an experimental procedure to have the ligament in his elbow replaced by one, I think it was out of his knee or something. But basically, they replaced the ligament in his throwing arm
This one's down
with one that was, Rafael Devers gets eaten up by that ball. No idea how that happened.
First base safely.
Hey, after that hit right there, Zero, that extends his hitting streak to 6 games.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 6 days in a row with knocks will help you sleep better at night, Dan.
Anyway, the point is you can come back from a UCL injury at this point with our medical knowledge, but the process of coming back from it is about a year. You know, it's about 6 months for a non-throwing arm, and about a year for a throwing arm. So back like around episode 15 when Jason got traded from the Pirates to the Padres, I made note that Dinelson Lamet on the Padres was part of the trade deal with from the Padres to get Colin Moran and Jason Parham from the Pirates. And I expressed surprise about that because in the real world, Dinelson Lamet had he suffered a UCL injury in the preseason, and he had been given Tommy John surgery then, which meant that he wouldn't be throwing again in the real world until sometime this year in 2019. So what's going to wind up happening is that probably Salvador Perez is going to need some surgery to fix the UCL in his arm, and he'll be out of the game for probably the better part of a year, which sucks. You know, every team's got a tale of woe to tell about somebody's UCL. Last year it was the Angels and Shohei Ohtani, who had a UCL sprain before the season. They tried to baby it as much as possible. They gave him platelet-rich plasma injections. They gave him stem cells, I think. They went to a 6-man rotation. They did everything they could to keep from aggravating that UCL any further of his, and yet it still got worse. So he had to have Tommy John surgery, I think, at the end of the season. So we won't be seeing him pitch for probably another year or two.
For a ball, 1-1.
Hey, your pitch, drive it deep, huh? Here you go.
1-1-1.
Anyway, if the fates are kind, you'll never hear me say the word UCL in relationship to Jason Parham, but you know, that's the kind of thing you can't predict. As I said, UCL damage occurs when you are throwing real hard and using, you know, throwing balls hard in unnatural ways, which is pretty much the definition of pitching a baseball. So, and Jason, you know, wasn't really meant to be a speed pitcher. He was always more of a control guy. So the fact that he's bulked up and started throwing 96, 97 on this 2-seamer could possibly mean that he's got some ligament damage down the road.
And this will wind up a foul ball. Now the 2-1 is swung on
and a miss on
and that's strike
changeup. That'll be 2-2. How about a cutter up and in? Oh, and Boston's up 4-1, by the way. Forgot to mention that.
High in the air down the right field line.
Smacked it out into right field. Yasiel Puig is out there, brings it in, and that'll end the third.
What a play on the run to end the inning. Royals go down 1-2-3, and this is still a 4-1 ball game.
I don't think Jason's had any strikeouts so far. Kind of lost track, but...
So here's the Royals DH, Rico Guillen. He came through with an RBI single in his last at-bat. First pitch of the at-bat on its way.
Feels like it's just been kind of a bleh day for Jason so far. 3 hits already.
Come on now, Rip.
Hit the other way out toward right field.
There's one out to right field for Yasiel Puig. Pulls it in, 1 out.
For the first out of the inning. Into the box, Bob Nadeau. His last at-bat didn't go his way as he popped out in foul territory.
Try cutter inside on this
Here
one.
it is. And that one stayed up a little high. And that one stayed
He's
too
not
low,
swinging it
apparently.
much.
Well, 2-0 now, and this is where he makes his money. If he gets a pitch to hack at, you can bet he's not going to hold back.
Swing and a miss on changeup on 2-0.
A swing and a miss.
Here we go.
Jason's bread and butter, get me out of trouble pitch.
The 2-1. Takes a pass.
Swing and a miss on the two-seamer up and in.
You know, that can really be an effective pitch for a guy that has a lot of pop.
Come on, baby. See it, drive it.
All right, let's try a Showtime slider. See if we can't get a swing and a miss for a change.
And the slider
there we
gets
go.
him swinging. 2 gone. Another strikeout for him on the mound, and boy, is it fun to watch him go about his business.
No doubt, Matty. He's one of my favorites, mostly because of his stuff. You know, he can absolutely dominate on any given day because of what he offers up there. It's just nasty. There aren't many hitters that like to see this guy on the mound.
Into the box, Ramon Torres. Batting left-handed here as he takes a look at strike 1.
Yeah, we got a couple guys up here that like to see Jason. Rico Guillen, for one, he's got a 527 WOBA, which translates to a 1.25 OPS.
Hey, 2 here.
Into the windup, here comes the 0-1.
So he is doing his job against Jason also.
It's through for a base hit, and he's 1 for 2 now. And the 2-out hit extends the inning for Salvador
Ramon
Perez.
Torres coming
You know,
up.
D-Roll, the old school thinking sometimes is when you're going through a bad streak like this guy, any way you can get on a little jam shot, even though it wasn't pretty, maybe this could get this guy finally going.
Yeah, I can't tell you how good that had to feel right there. There's moments where you slap that donut off the bat, you don't even.
Torres.
And the center fielder is under it to make a catch, and the inning is over. Royals lead 1. They trail it 4-1. Stepping into the box, Andres Melendez. He'll get his side started in the inning, and Dan, so far they've been stifled offensively since the first inning.
Boy, they sure have, Matt. They came out of the gates and got hot
Swing and
right
miss on
away.
the changeup.
But whatever was
Not
going
what
for
he was
them
expecting.
pretty much has disappeared. We'll see if they can wake it back up.
See if we can slow it down a little further with the curveball.
And a curveball
well, we can, but he just doesn't swing on
it. Ball 1.
Slider.
Missed with a slider.
Nothing. Okay, 2-1.
The 2-1. Waves and misses.
Swing and a miss at a
strike
cutter
number 2.
outside for strike 2.
Hey, let her rip up there. Let's go.
How about another slider, perhaps? How would you feel about that?
Is laid off, and the count runs
feel
full.
fine, I guess.
Clayton Negri, the number 8 hitter here, waits on deck.
Let's go, big fella.
How about a curveball?
Line towards center field.
Hung up there.
And that's in for a base hit. His second in as many trips to the plate. So the leadoff man reaches in
man
their
on
half
first
of
with
the
nobody
fifth.
out in the bottom of the
That's
fifth.
a nice job by the batter right there, keeping the front
I mean, we got a pretty
side in.
sizable
Not
lead, so
easy
I'm
on
not
a curveball.
necessarily
Would've been
concerned
easy
about
to
it, but
throw
I
the
don't like
front
seeing it.
side and hook that foul, but he was able to stay inside and drive it for a base hit.
And it's 0-1 to the Kansas City first baseman.
Man, nobody away. There we go, kid.
And boy,
Swing and a miss on the cutter inside, too,
now,
and that'll be
0-2. Extended there, and it's 0-2 now.
Reaches for the changeup outside.
Really
Thanks for playing. Have a seat and get comfortable.
The great equalizer, the changeup. That was a really good job of getting him to offer at that one out of the zone, and it was all set up by the fact that he got ahead in the count and forced the hitter to have to protect. That's the name of the game.
Second baseman.
In now, Willie De La Cruz. As the first pitch to him runs a bit
Okay,
inside
Willie
for ball
De La
1.
Cruz goes
He's
for
0
nothing
for
out
1
here.
after grounding out in his only trip to the plate so far.
Hey, we got one.
And he misses low with it.
Jason
2-0.
just can't seem to hit the
Sometimes
zone.
it can be difficult for a pitcher. You're facing a guy that's not known to be a big stick in the lineup. Sometimes
This one smoked the other way. High and deep to left.
Benintendi's running out there.
Gone!
And that is a 2-run shot to left field. Willie De La Cruz puts the Kansas City Royals within 1.
It's a 2-run shot to straightaway left. 6th home run on the season for him as It's trimmed to a 4-3 game now.
It's now 4-3. Shoot.
Man, he's kicking himself after that pitch. As soon as it left his hand, he knew it was a mistake. The next thing he knew, it was screaming through the night sky and over the fence.
All right, Jay, pick your pants up. Let's try it again.
Standing in now, Akinori Inaba, as he'll take a cold strike at the knees. It's 0-1. He's 0 for 2 in the ballgame so far.
Here we go, right now, fellas.
Behind 0-2 now.
Just doesn't feel like Jason's pitches are going where I want them to.
Hey, come on, big dog, get your pitch.
The windup and the 0-2 pitch. And this one's chopped foul.
Fouls
right
off
the
two-seamer well inside.
With 6 hits so far.
Your pitch only, huh?
Well, I'm not going to be out here that much longer, so let's throw some sliders in the mix.
And a swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss.
Have a great day. There, 2 away.
It's never easy to rebound after serving up a 2-run shot, but that at bat was a good indication to me that he isn't letting it get to him. He went right after him for the strikeout.
First pitch coming. Here it is.
Swing and miss on the changeup down.
For a swinging strike.
Late on it. So how about a fast one?
Hey, plays the one. Here we go.
Cutter up.
Just a bit high
Nothing
that time
much.
as he misses spur ball. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error so far for Kansas City.
Hey, 2 late.
How about one outside two-seam?
And he'll look at a
Can't hit the
fastball
zone.
that's close, but it's 2-1 now.
All right, Jay, you want to give up another dinger? Let's give up another dinger.
Ground ball sent back up.
That wasn't a dinger.
Frazier has it. Throw on to first, gets him, and the side is retired.
I mean, I won't say no.
So
it's
2
just
runs. Leading off the inning, Rico
Boston gives us another insurance
They'll need him
run,
to get
takes us up to
something
5-3.
going
It's
Things
not a sure
looking
thing
very
yet,
good so
but
far
we're
in this
looking
one,
pretty
but we're
good.
still in the middle innings. They're down by a couple of runs, and this would be the right place and the right time to get something going.
Two-seamer
The last thing
kinda
they wanna
in the
do
middle of
is
the
to try to
zone,
come from
really.
behind and win this one in the 8th or 9th inning.
The 0-1. Down the third base.
Grounder over to third.
Throws in time, and that's
That'll
out
be
number
1 away.
And now it'll be the cleanup spot for the Royals. Bob Nadu. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout in this one. And that misses for ball 1.
Jay's having a tough time hitting the zone today.
Let's go.
Can't imagine why.
Squared that one up just a little late.
Hung the slider,
Looked
but he
like
was
from
late
our
on it,
perspective,
so
he gave up on that one a little
no
too
harm, no
quick,
foul.
and then tried to emergency hack late.
Now a
Swing and miss on the cutter.
He's behind 1 and 2.
Let's go fastball up and in. Rattle his cage, maybe?
Now this pitch
There we go.
sails up and in, and that leaves him muttering to himself. It's ball 2.
Been trying to do that deliberately all season, and I haven't had a heck of a lot of luck doing it. So, what do you say, man? You want it ready for one low, slow, and away?
Swing and a ground
He sure
ball to
was.
third. And now from the air, a jump throw.
It's not going to work.
The throw to first despite
So,
a fantastic effort. And that ought to
Nadu actually does get to first base off of that grounder. Kind of an awkward reach for Rafael Devers. Doesn't get the best jump on it. So, man at first with 1 out.
Now batting.
into the box now, Ramon Torres, as he rips it on the ground.
That
to
one's
second.
into the gap, so that's going to be a
He's now
hit.
2 for 3 in this one.
So we're playing
And that
station
runner
to
will go
station
no
now, men
further
first
than
and second
as
with
there
1
are
out.
2 aboard now.
Boy, that's one of the, I guess, the advantages of hitting with that hole between first and second base, D-Row. First baseman has to hold that runner on that lead.
Now that ball's hit well.
That's
deep
high
down
and
the
far.
left
Is it
field
going to
line,
stay
headed
fair?
toward the foul pole. And nearly
No,
a 3-run
thankfully.
shot. Instead, it's a foul ball. 0 for 2 from him so far.
Well,
in
don't
this one.
hang those, Jason. Really would prefer not.
And he lays off for ball 1.
No, nothing going on that two-seamer up and in. Got one. There's one into the gap. Is that going to drive a run home? It is not. So we got bases loaded. Salvador Perez gets a hit.
Boy, there's
brings up
right there, but you have
the
to
2
hold
for
there,
2.
to make sure that gets through and isn't
Melendez.
line drive double play.
Yeah, you have to play the game right there and respect the infield and respect the line drive. I know he wants to get a ribby for his buddy.
Two-seamer up and
that's
in.
The way the game's played.
Andres Melendez swings and misses there, so he's down 0-1. On its way, the 0-1 pitch.
Swing and a miss on 12-6, down and in.
Now.
It was early on it, so let's try one down and away. Showtime slider. Let's get it.
And he got him.
Strike
so
3 called.
With one big out still to
what a
go,
shame.
They may be able to get out of this mess with the lead intact.
Well, that call looked like it was a little in the pitcher's favor, but it wasn't outrageous. Hey, listen, calling balls and strikes is a really tough job, and even the best are going to miss some from time to time.
All right, now it's
sort of
Clayton Negri.
Like that last one. Not sure the hitter would want to hear that, though.
Into the box, Clayton Negri.
And that's just a harmless little pop-up into the infield. Go from bases loaded,
is there as he makes the catch,
one out,
and they'll tightrope out
to
of danger as he
no people on base. No score. Boston remains on top, 5-3, going into the 7th.
Ready to take his hacks again, Willie De La Cruz, as he'll look to follow up the 2-run homer he launched over the wall last time up.
Now, if we can help it, let's not do that again, Jason.
They're only down by a couple of runs.
There's only so many ways you can walk that limbo line before you fall on your butt. And personally, I don't want to be the one hollering about the rye bread and mustard today. Got to leave that stuff to the professionals. All right, let's give him an ant special just because I feel chippy today.
It's a breaking ball that's taken for a ball.
Okay.
Wow, that was a close pitch on 1 and 2. The count's now on 2 and 2, but boy, that one very easily could have been called strike 3.
That one's over first baseline. Derek Dietrich makes a nice catch on it, and that's the first out.
So the lineup flips
over. Flips back over, 4th time around now for Jason.
He'll look to bounce back after striking out his last time up.
Got to imagine that Jason's kind of running to the end of his rope here. He hasn't pitched particularly well. He's got 3 runs allowed. He does have the quality start at this point. But, oh, gee whiz, Jay. I'll put one right down the middle if you need me to.
A 2-1 count to the leadoff hitter for Kansas City.
All right, let's do a slider inside, I guess.
And this one's low here, so the count swells to 3-1.
He's been throwing strikes all day, so you're not up at the plate thinking he's going to walk you in this situation. You need to be aggressive.
Tapper over to third. Rafael Devers gets it, and that'll be out number 2. But not a great look for Jason there.
Ready for another shot now, Manuel Rosales. He got on top of one and was a ground out victim last time. First offering.
All right, curveball first pitch.
Breaking ball
on the black for strike 1. Two-seamer down is the call.
Takes a fastball.
Get one in the zone.
Corner.
Take it.
Looks like he's got a good feel for that 2-seam fastball.
And calls a change up, circle change, low outside corner. Get the right break moving on it. Let's do it. Swing and a miss. Thanks for playing. Have a great day.
KC down in order. They're still down 5-3. Willie Chavez is on to pitch out of the bullpen in the bottom half of the 8th.
Dan Jason's day is done after 7 innings, and probably well-deserved. He gets the quality start, allowing 3 runs on a home run from Willie De La Cruz. But aside from that, we get to see how well Boston holds up. Survey says...
Just more of the same from Craig Kimbrell. He comes out of the bullpen and fires a scoreless ninth inning to pick up the save. Business as usual from one of the best in the game.
And this evening's contest comes to a close. 5-3 the final. Boston led this game from the
well, Kansas City does their best, but Boston hangs on to the win. Jason pitches for 7 innings, allowing 3 runs on 9 hits, including a Willie De La Cruz home run. He collects 5 strikeouts and he gets the win. He goes to 8-5 on the year, and he goes to 54-37 in his career. His ERA has gone to 2.35, his FIP is at 2.84, and his xFIP is at 3.14. So that's going to do it for me. Until next time, I'm Tyrant Saber, and I will see you at the ballpark.